questions. And I've gotten a few messages from some of the students here that they are dealing with a few health issues. Actually, got it. And because of that, I thought that today it would be just appropriate. It's the most appropriate time to take a break from cooking and make some medicine that I make every spring and every fall. I make 3 variations of this medicine, so if we get a chance, we'll make another variation. But this is just one of the variations that I make every spring and every fall. I shy away from using the word cleansing because that's a word that has been overused and commercialized. So you have all these cleanse. And my position is that there's no reason to detox if you're already intentionally putting toxins in your body. So you can't be detoxing if you are engaging in purposeful intoxication of yourself. If people who we are very familiar with, people who are, let me get some light. All right. I want to make sure we have enough light. So one of the things that we are very, very familiar with when it comes to intoxication is the issue of alcoholism. Okay, so people who get addicted to alcohol and they end up being controlled by the consumption of alcohol, and which causes them to ruin their lives. So if somebody decides that they've had enough and they've realized that alcohol is causing them harm, they go to a rehab and they cleanse themselves. But after they stop drinking, they get out of rehab, they stop drinking. So I always ask, why is it that people think that they can detox every so often and go back eating the same kinds of food that's causing them to be intoxicated, and then getting into another cycle where they detox, constantly detoxing? It's one thing to detox or to protect yourself against something that you have no control. But if you think about it, is a form of dishonesty for us to be saying we are detoxing ourselves when we are intentionally putting the toxins in ourselves. That really doesn't make sense. So anyway, so I always shy away from using the word detox. But I use this just as a regular part of my diet, but my way of life. This is a way of life. It's not a detox now. It's just a way of life. So, and I don't need, I guess I can say that for the benefit of the guests that are here today for the first time. My whole life centers around ensuring that I consume food in the most literate way, where I consume only the best food that promotes the best health outcome in my own life, okay? As well as in the life of the planet, my community, and all. So you know that in the class, there's a lot of times that I use things that are fermented, okay? This being one of them. And I've always made the promise that, hey, one of these days, I'll show you how we make this. So here you have a finished product. I've used this to make all kinds of things. So that's actually the reason why I shied away from using the word detox. I'm not detoxing, because when I make this, I use it all around the house. Simply because I make it in spring doesn't mean I'll use all of it. In fact, I use it, I store it, and then whenever I need it, I use it. But I make it in spring and fall because that's when the plants that I use to make this are most optimal, okay? So this is that. We'll talk about it later. I put it here towards the end. So I'll go through the list of ingredients that I have. I have the biggest base, which is this plant called yellow duck. This is yellow duck here. One of these upcoming classes, we'll have it outside and you see the garden and you will be able to see it outside. So this is a wild plant that grows here. It grows in Kenya too. It's called yellow duck. And I like to make the yellow duck in spring when the roots are still very young. And they're still very young. Those are the roots. So what I do is I'll cut these roots. Now that you've seen the whole thing, and I get rid of the leaves. And this will go back to the compost. So I don't put anything in the trash can. So how do I know the best time to make? Right now, we had the last part of cold weather. We don't have any more cold weather coming from here. But you can say it was cold until it started damaging the leaves. So I know that's the last bit. That's the last bit of the cold weather or the cold spell. Okay. So these are the two roots. I wash them thoroughly. Thoroughly wash them. Thoroughly wash them. Thoroughly wash the roots. And get rid of all the salt. That's all I need. Really, that's all. Nothing. There's nothing. There's no poison. The garden is organic. I don't put any chemicals back there. And that's something we're going to talk about as well. We'll talk about how to make ideal compost. So here I have the roots that are very clean. So I put those down. I have ginger. I have turmeric. I have blackberries. Those are blackberries. I have lemons. I have two. I have to get another one. I think I have two lemons. I think my daughter made the lemon juice with it. So I have two lemons. Actually, I like the big ones. Three actually would be ideal, but it doesn't matter. This is just for flavor. Some of these things are just for flavoring the medicine. So it really doesn't matter if I put one or two or three or five. It doesn't matter, but I'll put one. I have a mango, right? Half a mango here, okay? I have a manuka honey. And then I have dry leaves from my community in Kenya called mudhira. These leaves are very medicinal, very, very important medicine in my community, in my indigenous community. This was considered to be one of the most important medicinal plants called mudhira. In fact, there's a neighborhood, the most upscale neighborhood, at least it's been upscale for a long time, when I was growing up, called Muthaiga. It's a very, very popular and upscale neighborhood in Kenya right now, in Nairobi. And the name Muthaiga comes from the big Muthaiga tree that was there. So when the white people came, when they are exploring throughout Africa, and they heard my community calling that region Muthaiga, they corrupted that word and they call it Muthaiga because they could not pronounce it properly. So Muthaiga is a very important tree. So I bring these leaves and I use them in various purposes in the kitchen, in the making of medicine. So these are just leaves this time. I have the sticks as well as the roots sometimes. So, but this time we're only going to use the leaves. So what we are going to do is get mortar and pestle. I have my mortar and pestle here, right behind. And we start with blackberries. Get the blackberries and crush them. Crush them, thoroughly crush them. All right, so that's it. They're crushed, just crushed enough to be all separated, from the single berries. Okay. Set those to the side. then all the other work is going to take place on the grader. And it doesn't matter what I want to start with. You can start with either one, but this time I'm going to start with the roots, okay? Notice that in the making of my stuff, of my cooking, I always prefer to use hand equipment. Very few. I don't think I've used anything electrical in this class. I always use things that I can use my hand. I find those to be, and I have them. I have all the electrical gadgets that most Western kitchens have. I have a Vitamix and all that stuff, but I prefer not to. I prefer to use the most basic tools and most rudimentary tools for two main reasons. One, I don't want to create the impression that you have to have all these tools to eat healthy. Okay? You don't have to have all those tools to have it. You can have just basic grater, and if you don't have a grater, I know, ask me what I can make. I can make a grater myself if I don't have one like this. I can take a metal and punch holes on any piece of thin metal, like a sheet, and I can use it to grate things on there. Or I can just pound. All these things I can use. I can pound them in here, and it wouldn't be nearly as effective, but it still work. So the idea that you have to have all these things in order to have healthy food is not correct. Okay, so I'll start with let me start with the root. The root is the toughest one to make, and typically I like to use the holes on this side. That's where you get the finest. If you have a lot of, but it takes a while to do it. If you have a lot of roots and you don't care to get the maximum amount of active ingredients in this, you can use the smallest grater with a slightly bigger hole. This is the biggest one, and this is a small one, and this is the finest. You get powder out of it. So we'll try the powder one just to see. Let's see what we got. So I put the knife, not the side that cut, but the opposite side. Okay. All right. So I need to get a fork, and I can grate the things that are on the side. Get a fork. You take a fork and align the fork in the way that the holes are made. You can't just go do it any kind of way. You have to find the way the holes are aligned. Look, you see, it's going very easy, very easy. It might seem like a lot of work, but it's actually very easy once you master it. Okay. So I got all not all, but Okay, so let's look at what we have here. Get a spoon. Let me get a spoon here so that we can look at what we have. You can see the things are really, really broken thin. Okay, so I'm going to put them in here, and you can tell they are very, very fine. Okay, that's one way. The other way is to use the other side. I'll take all this first and remove those. And we use the fine grater right here, the second finest. We use one fine. All right. Let's see what we got this time. You can see the difference. It's not that much. If I put it in here and I put some on one side, some on the other side, it's still very, very fine. Okay. So whichever one you find convenient, that's what we use. Use what you find convenient. Now I have these fine roots. I can grate all the way to the roots. But for these ones, I'm going to pound them. Okay. So I'll put those in the side first. And what I'm going to do now is grate the ginger and the turmeric. I still have some more of the yellow dust here, but all of it will end up in the same hole. So I'll just use this side, the medium side grater, and just grate it all the way through. Okay, so this is what I do. When I only have a little bit of it left, I don't try to scrape so close because I don't want to end up injuring myself. So I'll pound this. So I just set that to the side. I get another big piece and grate it through. When I get a small bit of it, piece left, I set it to the side. Now this is turmeric. And I made this thing for so long, I just about know about how much root that I want and how much ginger and how much lemon that I need and blackberries. Again, all this, I only used all the blackberries that I have left. These are just flavors that I'm adding, and they are all just really good flavors. The thing that I'm really interested in is this medicine and the leaves of Modega. They have very powerful ingredients. So all I need is make sure I get some of that medicinal properties in the fermented drink when I ferment it enough, because I use it from time to time. And I'm nasty. This is not this recipe is not for somebody who is actually like on serious medical situation. So I should say that. But even if you're feeling unwell and you take it, it does help a very, very big deal. And it might not necessarily heal the problem that you have, but it empowers the body or the functioning of the body. This yellow duck is very, very good for cleansing the liver, for example. Very, very good liver cleanser. And you find that a lot of problems that we have are related to the liver. The liver is very, very important in the normal function of the body. So if your liver is not working at its optimal, then you're likely to have other problems that are just related to the malfunctioning of the liver. So, and I'll tell you more about that. But let's finish this and then we can talk about it. So I'll get it out of the way. So we have turmeric, very, very powerful ingredient. So again, when I get so close to the final, to the end, I just put it to the side and I put it all together and grind it together. Okay. So how much? So the question is, for the most person, how much ginger do I have relative to everything else? So my standard mix in anything I make that has ginger and turmeric is I always use the ratio of 1 to 3. So if I have 1 portion of ginger, turmeric, I want to have 3 portions of ginger as a standard. But that's just a general rule. Again, this is not chemistry. This is just indigenous science. Okay. And also the way your taste bud works. Some people can't stand a lot of ginger. So that's fine. Just use however much amount you think your body can stand, because the most important thing is to consume this often. This is not medicine. That's why I say food is not medicine all the time. There's nothing I oppose more than that idea that food is medicine. Food is not medicine. Food is food. And we seek medicine when food has failed to work. And we first use medicine for emergency or when we misuse things that are sold as food when they're actually not food, but they are actually drugs or toxins that we are adding to the body. So we are almost wrapped up with this. What I did is fine chopped all the mix of the ginger and the turmeric that I had left, that where the pieces were too small for me to grate. I could grate it, but I want to show you the most basic way to make it so that you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to count on being an expert. Anybody can make it in this particular way, and you can make it very, very safely. So here we go. Let's look at what we got so far. This is a mix of turmeric and ginger that I grated. Okay, this from the outside, this from the inside. So I'll add this in here into the bowl, the common bowl. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is add the blackberries in there. And then once I add the blackberries, I'm going to take some of the ginger that was in big pieces and pound them. Put them in the mortar and pestle. Oh, you can't see. Oh. Don Dayo, you're the host. You didn't tell me that I need to change, to bend the camera so that you can see.
Get with the program.
Oh yeah. Somebody needs to wake up, man. You know, the program has to be woke. Right? That's slightly better. Slightly better. Okay. All right. So here we have the ginger and we have the turmeric. But we don't want to waste anything. We gotta do some pound them. Pound them. All right, that's what you have. It's already pound. Again, because it will be fermented, we are not trying to pound it like really, really hard. We just want to expose the liquid that's in there. Okay. Put them in there. And let's wipe that. Let's wipe. Okay. Now, the next thing, we're going to chop the leaf, the rest of the roots. Also, okay, sure. Chop all the rest of the roots. Again, this is our biggest, most valuable commodity here, ingredient. So I'll chop those very small, as small as I can. All right, there you go. Put them in the pound, in the mortar and pestle. Okay. Good. I typically do this on the floor, but I don't want to disappear. I want to be within sight. Again, I just want to pound it and just loosen it some so that more ingredients can be, the active ingredients can be more exposed, more easily exposed, okay? So, there we go. That's over and done. Now, we have the mango. We have the mango. And what I do is, one of the easiest way that I found is to cut the mango. Yes. Yes, cut it. And have this piece by itself, okay? Because it becomes very easy for me to grate the inside because we're holding the skin. And hopefully you'll see it. So I just I bend it a little bit so that I'm only exposing the meat and not the skin. I'm not interested in the skin. I'm only interested in the meat itself. Okay. All right, we are done. That's the edges. Touch the edges, touch the edges. I can tell it's already done. You're getting to the skin. It's one more edge. Okay. If you look at it, that's the skin. There's nothing left except the skin. Okay. So we put that on the side. Now I can cut these edges also, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. But I'll just demonstrate it. Okay. Now I have this piece. I still have the skin. So I can just use this, hold the skin and keep grating it. I'm not going to do, I can do one, I guess, for demonstration. And just keep playing around with it. So another piece is done. So we put that to the side and lift the grater and put the opposite side of the knife down and put all the grated stuff in there that might be stuck in there. Okay. Then turn it upside down and grate it like that, so that we are not losing anything. That's the indigenous principle. Nothing goes to waste unless it's useless. It's of no use. And things have always have, and always find one way of using, one more use for stuff that we have, because it costs money and it took time to make. Okay, so here we go. Put all the mango in there. And this is a good time to clean the whole chopping board. All these are good ingredients here. Nothing goes. Just clean it. Clean it to the best of your ability. All right, there you go. All right. Just wipe this. Okay. Wonderful. Doing very well, very, very well. Get some water. That's a handy. And get a bottle. And get some water. Keep those handy. All right. And then what we need now is the lemon and honey. So we'll cut the lemon. And as usual, you see the sign. Organic lemon. And only the best ingredients. Squeeze it. All right, that's done. One more. Okay. If you don't have enough, I can always add more lemon if I want to, if I need to. If after I taste and I find that it's not potent enough or it's not to my liking. Okay, so I'll get a ladle and mix. Mix. Okay. I'm going to wash the leaves. Just rinse them. Okay. And we are good. I have about 10 leaves for this bottle. So that's what I typically use. And yeah, squeeze them down. Squeeze them down. Squeeze them down. All the way in. Squeeze them in there. All right, good deal. Good deal. Now, 2 more steps and we're done. Get a jug for ease of pouring the content into the bottle. Okay. The only thing we haven't added is the honey. So, and this honey, I don't have a lot of it. So what I do is actually put some of this in here, some of the drink in here, in the bottom. Close the bottom. I typically use half of this bottle to make that a jar. Now just shake it completely. It's good exercise too. Okay. Okay, that's it. So I'll put the bottle in here, just in case anything wastes. Because we don't, this is very important stuff and very pricey stuff. So you don't want to waste any of it. Okay. And I can tell this mouth is not the most convenient one, but I'm trying to use something that can be convenient for the class. I have an easy way that I use, but it might not be very, very visible here. So I'd rather do it slowly and get everybody, give everybody a clear view than doing it in an easy way and people end up missing it. So it's a little tedious this way, but what we are going to have to do this time.
I know Betty has a juicer. Maybe we'll have to do a little addendum for if we do have a juicer.
Yes. Actually, no. We don't need Betty to do that. Everybody needs to do it, and then everybody can be added into the addendum. You know, if Betty do it, that's Betty's addendum. We want to add everybody to the addendum. That's what it starts with the add. It means add more people. Yes. Right. So try. This is the most basic way. Do it the way in which you find it convenient for yourself. But I do it in a way that it fits everybody, you know. Yes, everybody might not be as loaded as Betty. Maybe Betty is just loaded with all the convenient tools. Okay, but for anybody who doesn't, or even before you buy, the people who are loaded in money but not maybe in time, it might not be convenient for them to go and buy now. So if you ever find yourself in a place where you don't have electricity and you want to make this stuff, then at least you've learned it the most easiest way. Okay, so there you go. All of it is in there. I didn't waste. Oh, I did. Oh, I was thinking I'm so good, but I guess I had to waste a little bit also as part of the class. Okay, goes here. Here you have. Now, they trade places. And you can see I have some that's with some that's left in here. So I just have to add in there. Okay, so there you go. So here we have, but I still have more stuff here. So I rinse that. I rinse it. I'm not about to leave anything. I'm not about to leave anything. Okay, so it's a clean jug. I have a clean jug. Set that to the side. The last bit of it. Here we go. That's what you have. Man, I thought I was doing great work, but I was sleeping on the job. Still got quite a bit of honey in there. This honey is very thick, so you can tell I have a lot of honey still. Get all the honey in there. All the honey in there. Okay. And then make one more round. Okay, that should the bag get it. Yep. I got all the honey out of it. Now I just need to cover it, rinse it. Okay. All right. Rinse it, dry it, rinse it and dry it. The bottle is clean, and that's what you have. Okay. And you can still shake it down because a lot of the honey that I put in there, some of the honey that's there, I put in there is still solid, but it will take time and it will dissolve. But that's what I have. Now, the part I love the most is tasting it, because all this is like just preparation. Now, where the real work begins. That was just the introduction. Now I get a spoon and I taste the flavor of my medicine and the potency of my medicine. Yeah, it is. I can add, it can take some more lemon and it can take more honey. Sometimes for flavor, I add a little bit maple syrup. Okay. So I'll add a little bit of, just a little bit of maple syrup in there. Just a little bit of maple syrup. And shake it. And then taste it. Taste it. Taste it. Oh, in terms of the honey and the sugars, we're good. On the sweetness, that's where I want. The potency of the yellow dark and the ginger and the turmeric, man, we are spot on. Yeah. This one I would love to package in some bottles, some small bottles, and send to all the students. Because it came out very well. Okay, so just when you think we are done, you realize that we have one more step. These are tamarind beans. So we want 5 tamarind beans. 5 tamarind beans. Five tamarind beans. And what we have to do is, this is the bean tamarind. Remove the shells. Remove all the dry shell out of shell. Move the strings, and that's the bean. All the shells are out of it. And rinse it. Throw it in there. Second bean. Rinse it. Second bean. Rinse the second bean. Put it in there. Third bean. third bean, fourth bean. Some of these are small, but they still count. Not the size. Put it in there. Fifth bean. I'll get one big one. All right. And all right, fifth bean. Put them in there. There we are. Shake thoroughly so some of them can go in the bottom. And bang, there you are. We have our first brew in the class. Now, I'll just set this to the side inside the pantry. And we can move on to the final stage now. Oh, hey. The host is sleeping on the job. We didn't put the lemon. That's why I could tell that I don't have enough lemons because we had not put the lemon juice.
I'm here for you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm the fall guy.
All right, okay. You're the fall. Okay. Yeah, please don't fall. Yeah, reduce the amount of falling. All right, here you go. All right, good. So we're good. Now I'll test it and see whether that's fair enough amount of lemon juice. I know I need 2 more lemons, but the first time I could tell you really needed some lemon. I could barely taste it. Oh, far much better. But we need 1 more lemon. 2 more lemons, I think. 2 more lemons. And we can set this in the pantry. And now we have already some that's made. And now you see how the final product looks like. My brew takes about 3 to 4 days to be fully processed, go through the whole process. And I tested, it also depends on the weather. Sometimes it might take 5 days. It depends because I also make it, as I mentioned, I make it fall, later in the fall, which in the house is really winter because it's rather cool in the house, or in the pantry, depending on where I put it. So what I do is I open it every day, and just by opening it really slightly, okay, you can tell, so that tells me it's still cooking. So what I do, oh, it smells so good. And what I typically do is I'll get a sieve. I get a sieve like this. I get a glass or a container. Maybe a round one might be easier to see. And I'll put the sieve on top. I'll put the sieve and pour some. I can tell it's still bubbling. I hate my friend Meredith is not in class because this is a batch I made from my friend who is unwell. So she stopped by the house and she picked up some. And when she picked it, because she was not feeling too well, she took it before it was fully done. So she has to finish the brewing process. I just made it, but I kept some from her batch for class today. And what I do, so this is the clear stuff, and this is the pulp. This is the pulp. This is the pulp. The pulp is in there. So I don't throw away the pulp. I put the pulp right back in the bottle. And then when I start another bottle. Actually, we can do that right now. I don't know why I'm okay. So I get a little bit more for this time. And some of this pulp, get a little bit more of the medicine of the brew, call it light brew. So here is a pulp now. I have enough. I have enough for use for the things that I'm going to make today. And I have a pulp that was left. Okay. So I'll take the new stuff. I'll add a batch of the old bacteria in there. So it has a starter in it. Okay, so that's it. And by doing that, I still have a little bit left from this. Still have some left that I can use another round. I have this batch going. And we're ready. Give it a good shake. Spread some of the old bacteria in there, probiotics in there, and set it to the side. All right. And the process is essentially complete. Oh, it's 9:38, man. We never.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Time.
Chef, I just realized,
not...
after this class, I just realized that all of us have amateur biotics, and you're giving us probiotics.
Yeah, we are. These are pros. Matter of fact, you know, you can't say it's pro before you taste it. You know, I have to taste it and tell you whether it's amateur biotics or it's probiotic. Mucho bueno. Mucho bueno, mucho bueno. It's 9:30. My apologies for holding you very long, much longer than anticipated. But I have 2 minutes for anybody who might have a question or a comment. And even some of the stuff that I wanted to discuss a little bit further now, we don't have time for it. Yes. All right, any questions? Any question or any
Thank you, Chef. I'm very, very excited to put this to work.
Donald, you've been asking me about this for a while. And I said, you know, in due time, in due time, in due time. So now it's in post time because it's already past due. Right? Yes, so it's past due, so that's good, that's good. So try, if you have any question, again, it's not the hardest thing to make. And the biggest thing you need to do, this root is really good and it's really potent. So even if you can just start getting a little bit of it in your body, and you don't have to drink a lot of it, you don't have to use it all the time, but it keeps your liver clean in an amazing way, cleans your liver in an amazing way. So if you add to the dandelion that you guys are eating and all the staying away from the rectin, in a matter of a year or so, you find your body is in a very, very different state of health. Okay, but also it's very flavorful. Yeah, because that's why I don't like to talk about it as though it's medicine. I like to call it brew. It's a brew because all the other stuff. Now I'll show you how to make one with moratina, especially for some of those of us who are Kikuyus or from Kenya who knows that the moratina is a very, very important ingredient to our culture. Culturally, the African sausage tree, which is called moratina, is very, very integral in all the cultural ceremonies and practices that the Kikuyu engaged in. And now the research has shown that it has very, very powerful properties that makes it very, very, very key in preventing prostate cancer. Anyway, so let me just put it there because we don't have time and then we can talk about it.
Chef,
so yeah, so
if you're going to continue this path, we're going to have our next class on the 4 stages of health, because I think you might have stage 4 health.
Yeah, we can always count on Don. We can always count on Don, man, to be the master strategist. That's why we make you the host. So we are going to give you another name other than host. You also MC. So yeah,
I'm at stage 1.5 health. I need to get to stage 4 health.
Oh no. I think you've come a long way. You've come a very long way. You've come a very long way.
Hey,
Yes.
thank you, Chef. This is a treasure. We'll keep this one.
Thank you. So yes, so please upload it so that we don't end up losing it, and we keep up. And tomorrow we have tomorrow's class. We'll talk about some interesting stuff, and we take it from there. All right. So look for the link for the next class. Okay. Don't everyone. Everyone have a great one. Fabulous.